What's up guys, RC here. Just gonna make a quick little video kind of giving a small update on what's going on with me and such. As you can tell, I'm gonna be holding the camera for this one because I feel that I'm gonna have to be showing some places. Only the legs though. So Saturday when I went to go LARPing, I ended up going and discovered about the next day that when we went doing this bandit hunting game. And at one point when I was, me and another guy were the bandits, we went into the woods and we basically hid out of the trail. We went into the park's trail and we got out of it, and I ended up hiding behind a tree for about 15 to 20 minutes. Now, with this would cause a very annoying pest to come. A pest that is known as the berry bug, also known as the red bug, or as another nickname, a chigger. Now, chiggers are some very nasty creatures. They are very microscopic, very tiny. You can't see them with the human eye. At most, you can only see them with a magnifying glass. But even then, that's going to be difficult because there's still like a speck of dust at that point. Now, while I was there for 15 to 20 minutes, it apparently got them time to latch on to my clothing, which of course got washed in hot water, and then put, and so after they got onto the clothes, it took the next day when I put the shoes and the jeans from that day back on. Now, I didn't know of any that this would have happened, and now that's why the precaution is next time we do something like that, we spray. We're going to spray that stuff on our clothes and our legs to prevent them from getting on us in the next place. So let me just show you what it's like for those who probably don't know what these little guys are and what they do. So that way you know not to go do what I do. Make sure that you do spray yourself with, some kind of mosquito or tick repellent, because these guys are basically like very tiny ticks. And you won't have this happen to your body. So these are my legs. I'm going to start with the foot. Right there is where the damage really started with the left foot. Now, these aren't about almost worst case kind of scenarios. They're not exactly the worstest. The only reason they're this big is because, they will be very itchy and you'll have a tendency to want to scratch them. But when you do so, it makes it get worse in terms of the size. Plus, sometimes if you don't tend to it, they will, continuously bite, because from the way I've done the research, if the way they do it is they try to make a buffet out of you. So they stick, here's another myth about them, that if you get they're onto you, then they dig their way into your skin and they get inside you. That's a myth you hear about them. They don't do that at all. They're just so small that you can't see them. And so what they do is that, okay, here's another spot. This one's on the actual bare leg. So let me use this for an example here. Okay, can't even work a camera right. Okay, so they take a spot where they decide to inject their little blade, their little teeth there, and inject saliva. The saliva then breaks it down. And so once it breaks and liquefies the cells a bit, they then slurp it up for food. But as they do this, your skin will start to make a resistance out of itself, and then it will build this bump that will be your worst nightmare. So And they, like I said, they can be small, and so small that they travel in packs that they'll quickly do a number. So like I said, we start from the bottom with the foot there, and they went around to there to here, and that's just the left. They didn't do as much damage to the right side. It did get some on the underneath the ankle there. But yeah, they got there's some nasty creatures. The worst part that you would ever have happen to you, and this is if you're a guy, is if they get near the crotch area, because then because the main thing that they do is go for areas where there's moisture and such, and so that's where they mostly try to get. It's easier for their teeth to sink into. And so yeah, it's definitely not a good place to get bit at, especially considering the itch. So, I'm just gonna say, in case, like I said, because there's probably some people that don't know what these are, and if you make the same mistake that I did, I'm hoping you don't. That's why I'm telling you, make sure you spray yourself with something next time you go out, and to like woods or a trail and you plan on going off. But if you do happen to go and make the mistake, all you really need to do is, take some alcohol, like what you get at the store. Dab a little bit on some cotton, and then dab a bit on the spots, because when you dry it out, then when the skin gets dry, they can't sink their teeth anywhere for that, and so that'll help out with removing the creatures, because once they can't find a place to bite, they latch off and get off of you. And you do this for about probably 2 or 3 days. But if you want a more quicker way without extending it that much, then I would suggest one person, few people have suggested taking a bath in bleach. Take like about a very small cup or two, and then just like put it in the water, and then bathe in it where the areas are, and it'll definitely kill them, as well as alleviate the wound, the little spots a bit. But ultimately, just also do what you can to reduce the itching, because if you itch it or scratch at it, from what I hear, there's times where it can form a cut that can get it infected. And there's also times where, it can just be a problem. Like, I think if I see... No, that one's cleared up. But there was one that was so bad that I think I ended up having it almost like, bleed or scab out a little bit. I know there was a bit of a coloration to it, but I think I'll be fine. We'll see what happens. But yeah, reason I wanted to make this vlog was to point out what happened. It's going to take some time for this to recover, and we'll see what goes on. So, hope y'all have a great day, and try not to get bit by any bugs if you decide to go out and enjoy Mother Nature and all that goes on. So, take care.